All right, let's see what's going on here. Ooh, got one person in here, possibly. Uh, I'm gonna wait a little bit and see who chimes in. Let's see, we hit the play button. See who chimes in here. And let's move this over here. See if all these people that said they were going to show up are going to show up today. We're going to see about that. All right, there we go. Oh, looks like our camera is different direction. Okay, all right, all right. Let me fix that. There we go. All right. See, Marie's in the house. Char Weeks is in the house. Can you guys hear me okay? Just making sure. I'm trying to make sure the live is actually live. And so, how's the picture? What you got? Are you seeing exactly what I'm seeing on my screen? Um, okay, I see what's going on. But anyway, so what I did, guys and gals, what I did was actually I'm doing this from the YouTube studio side. So everything, so what I got to do is turn off all this other stuff. Hold on. So let's see. Okay, let me stop this real quick. Okay, okay. So y'all gonna have to bear with me because one of the things I don't know how to do on this is actually turn off my background stuff. So give me a second and I'll figure out some kind of way to put something else on this screen other than what y'all seeing. Um, give me a hot second. It's kind of new to me because I just started doing the lives from the studio side. So uh, I guess I would have to put something in my background. Y'all gonna bear with me. Y'all just gonna have to deal with this. Give me a second. Let some other people get in here. Um, y'all can see everything on my screen. See? So I'm going to fix that here in just a hot second, I think. And hang on one second. Turn this up. If y'all get some background noise, let me know. And I'll figure out some kind of way to put something else on this screen other than what y'all seeing. Okay, I'm working on it. No, this is very new to me. Let's see, so I guess I would have to put something in my background. Y'all gonna bear with me. I'm just gonna have to deal with this. All right, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. Let some other people. Y'all hold tight for just a second, please. Y'all can see everything on my screen. See? So I'm going to fix that here in just a hot second, I think. And hang on one second. Turn this up. All right. Background noise, let me know. I'm still working on it, y'all. Hang on one second. All right. Working on it. No, this is very new to me. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're just going to have to figure this out a little later. All right, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. Y'all hold tight for just a second, please. I should have went through the YouTube class or something, I guess, to make sure I was doing this right. But I think what I'm gonna do is throw up a picture of. I'm still working on it, y'all. Hang on one second. All right, let's turn the camera back on. All right. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let's see.
Okay.
This is my first stream live from here. Can you
I
guys
guess
see
we're
me?
just going to have to figure this out a little later.
All right. Got a little delay in there.
I should have went through the YouTube class or something, I guess, to
There we
make sure
go.
I was doing this right.
There we go. Let's just keep
But
that. I'll keep that picture up,
what I'm gonna do is
and
take a
let me get
picture
my camera back
of
on. There we go. Okay. All right. So hopefully
put the
this will
camera
work.
back on.
I got
All
a
right.
picture in the background that looks better than
Give me a
what we
second.
was
Give
looking
me a
like a hot
second.
second
Give me a
ago. So I think
second.
we're good. There we go. That's me
Let's
back in the
see.
background. Okay, because we're talking about
This is my
the
first stream
apocalypse.
live from here. Can you guys
So
see me?
turn my other device down. All right. All right, y'all see me? Everything's cool, it looks like. We groovy. All right, we're gonna get started. So I can't necessarily see um, everything on my screen, but I'm looking at it on another screen. So I think we're gonna be good here. Let me shout at y'all real quick. Let's see. Y'all good. And then we're gonna get this thing popping. Okay. It's cold out here, y'all. Had to break out the mink in a minute. Um, okay, cool. We got some folks in here in the chat, and let's see what we got going on. C. Marie in the house, Miss E. Okay, Rodney Johnson. Uh, got some folks up in here. It's looking pretty hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, so I don't hold y'all day up no more. But look, y'all, um, I wasn't expecting it to be this chilly out. But it is, so it just bees like that. But look, um, we're gonna get into talking about the word apocalypse because that's what I told you we was gonna talk about. Um, my nose is cold. I got that tissue paper today. Y'all ain't gonna catch me slipping today. Uh-uh. Slide out, I'm slide right back in there, okay? But we're gonna get into talking about this word called the apocalypse because so many people uh we take that word like it's so theatrical of a word, because they done seared our minds with the probability of things like this occurring, which is pretty crazy because uh, you know, when you watch movies over your lifetime, you get some deep programming put in there, and that's what it's there for. It's programming on purpose. We think it's entertainment, but it's definitely programming. It ain't got nothing to do with this stuff, this stuff. I'm just putting some other pictures up there just to show y'all some stuff, make the screen. Anyway, have a little fun with this. This is all new to me, so we're gonna keep it moving like this. But let's see. That word apocalypse is synonymous with the religious books, the Bible. Because yesterday I had a viewer say something to the effect that word's been around for 2,000 years, and it's biblical. And in my mind, I'm not going to compete with other people saying that's not what my platform is for, is to go back and forth with, oh, you're right, I'm right. I just spit what I spit. This is what I do. This is how I do it. So I just do what I do. But he stated it as if that's the absolute, and y'all know, ain't nothing absolute till you find out it's absolute. So apocalypse is an English word derived from some Latin, probably derived from some Greek, probably derived from something else 10 times removed, kind of thing. So it's never going to be uh, a situation with, say, for example, uh, that word that you really can just, without doing some research, you can't really just stick it and apply it somewhere. You got to really go find out what the word means, where it came from, do the etymology, do all that stuff just to figure out, oh, this is just something they threw up and it's stuck on the wall, and they was like, yeah, it's stuck, so it's good. So you got to realize y'all keep talking over here on the chat to make so I can make sure everything is working. Y'all keep saying stuff, and I'm looking at the screen over here to make sure we still good. So y'all chime in here and there. I know y'all listening, but say something here and there so I know everything's working right. Like I said, this is my first time using the live from the studio side. So this is a whole different little thing for me. I'll figure it out as I go. That's how I get down. Anyway, okay, cool. So I see that's okay, cool. Somebody said something. All right, thanks, Miss Char. All right, so that word apocalypse ain't it's a word, man. They just take words and they package them with some energy and they spit it out on you. You know, a lot of people will tell you if they know about the word apocalypse, to them religiously, it means like the end of days, the end times, or the unveiling of knowledge, even. Um, you know, it has a couple in the English language. Y'all need to know these words have several different definitions and meanings to just about every word. You can use them so many different ways. In other languages, you can't do that. They got whole sentences for the word that might change the whole sound and meaning and intent behind it. For example, they use a lot of inflections in their vocals, like, you know, Vietnamese, Chinese stuff. Like it goes up, up, and down, and they talk. You think they're angry, but they just explaining something based on who they're talking to and the relationship they have with that person. So we don't do that in America. We go to other English is like monotone. It's just like, yeah, this is me. I'm Major. What's up? How y'all doing? Uh-huh. Yeah. We don't do all that. No, our stuff don't sound like that. So when you're talking about the word apocalypse, it's just monotone. It's got a couple of different definitions with it, but it's a monotone type of language. So you gotta understand that too. We're not even dealing with the original language that we had previous. Now I'm talking about brown folk. If you call yourself black, okay, so be it. I ain't seen no black people yet. I see a lot of browns, a lot of deep, dark, browns and coppery colors and stuff like that. If you Caucasian, some people get offended by that. If you Caucasian, if you white, whatever the tag is you go by, okay, whatever that is. If you just people, okay, with no culture, then you just peoples. But you always, you I lost my train of thought. I'm gonna catch that the caboose is going by. I think I just missed it. But in this life, you being a brown person in this country, you don't have your original language. You just need to know that. If you white, if you Spanish people, Latin people, y'all got y'all. Chinese, yep. Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, yep. Uh, Caucasian people, English. I mean, whatever, English. Or you go back, maybe it's Greek. If the Romans had a language, whatever they were speaking, I don't know, was they speaking Latin or something? Whatever it was, they had their language. But a lot of brown folk over here, we don't even know that this wasn't our language. That's a shame. We haven't started investigating even, where our language came from, where is it now, who's talking, who's using it, so on and so forth. We just do English and that's it. So that's why the word apocalypse means what it means to most people, because once you get a campaign or marketing campaign to scare you constantly, once you get that ongoing and people viewing it, and actually people paying to go view their demise in these scary looking films, then it starts to develop the meaning of the word that ain't even the real meaning of the word. So y'all just need to know that going in, that this language is so, if I, like I always say, if y'all see something on my nose, y'all better say something. Major, something hanging from your nose. Don't have me on here live for 40 minutes, something jiggling, because my nose is running. It's cold out here. But anyway, this a real live. This ain't no fake live. This a real live right here. So the language that we're using starts to depict the meaning of the words. They can just grab some words, and over time, you tell a lie long enough, it become the truth. So apocalypse. Let's see what I wrote down. Let's see what I wrote down with my kindergarten education. So the word apocalypse, it means, now I don't know if y'all knew this, but it's 4 parts to an apocalypse, like the stages of an apocalypse. I'm gonna read those so you can be like, say what? Okay, so we're gonna read on. So the first one, the first word, this is so interesting because once you grasp this, you'll see what I'm talking about. The first stage of the apocalypse or an apocalypse is the word, they put it in here, the word conquest. So you're thinking, wait a minute, what does that have to do with apocalypse? It has everything to do with apocalypse because that's what I'm going to get into. So the first stage is conquest or colonization. So first you conquest, you go out and you take stuff, and then you colonize it. You set your rules, standards, religion, your culture, your food, all that stuff. You assimilate people into that so you can crossbreed yourself and actually you multiply yourself. It's really smart concept how they did this. I got to hand it to them for that. Everything else, no, but how they pulled this off and where we are today as a result of all of that conquest and stuff, that's pretty, it's mind-boggling to think that people in mass was out here conscripting and scripting stuff to one day know that even though they're gonna physically die, they're gonna carry on the plan for as long as it can go. But anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. I might not because I'll probably forget, but anyway, colonization got apocalypse got 4 parts. Conquest. Then you got war. Then you got famine. Then you got death. That's what it says. Now we're gonna go through them 4 parts. That's a whole discussion in itself because when you get into the word conquest and you start finding out who was conquesting, who was taking stuff, then you can start to see the knitting of the fabric of what you call life in America, where it came from. Because it didn't come from your ancestors. It didn't come from nobody in your family. It didn't come from none of that. All of this stuff, and I'm going to tie it all together. We're going to tie it together and put some knots in it so it don't come apart on us no more. But it came from somewhere. What you're living right now came from, it originated from somewhere. And you got to start realizing with your real eyes that's what's happening. So you got conquest, is the word conquest. The conquistadors, the Spaniards, okay? Conquest by force. It was by force that they colonized. It was by force that they took over Puerto Rico, Guam, Cuba, all of these other places that we call these names that they didn't even pronounce them that way. I heard Cuba was really pronounced Cuba. It's just a lot of Cuba, they had an accent on there. So all the names done been changed too. So it's more going on than meets the eye. So you go to all these distant lands, just know that the names of these places, that's new. This is all new. When you say the word Missouri, that was a tribe of people, that name, but they done changed it and put it in English, so now it don't pronounce the original name no more, okay? So that's one thing that apocalypse does, because I just named out the 4 sections. We already seen that the conquest and the colonization has already taken place, right? So then the next stage is war. Civil war, the war of this, of that, the French Indian War, all these different wars. That's what the word apocalypse stems from, is the combination of these factors working together. So if I put a video up, are you ready for the apocalypse? Just know you already in it. That's just Major's point of view. I'm already in the apocalypse. We already up in here. I'm gonna prove it to you. It's real simple. It's easy. See, the movie business is made to move you. Like I said last night on that live, it's made to move you emotionally so that you actually can never figure this out. So that you are always in the loop, stuck in the box, doing a circle inside the box. That's it. That's what they want you to do. So these movies they have out there gradually progress into a visual in your mind. That's what the book, the Bible got some real stuff in there, and then it's got some other things in there that go back to apocalyptic writing, apocalyptic times. The plan moving forward for what we want to happen in the future, we will put in writing back then so that it can start happening later. It's all a part of a plan. So, mankind has written a lot of books. So if you just say one book is the book, then I'd have to kind of disagree with you because a man wrote it. And what I mean by that is I could be inspired to write a book about the apocalypse. That don't mean that everybody gonna live and die by that book. However, since it's been around for a long time, you know, a lot of people we go into that like that. And I'm not going, like I said, this is not a I'm right, you're wrong. No, you live your life, do your mission, do your job, do what you're supposed to do with this thing, and go live your experience and do your processes and things like that. Don't worry about what I'm saying. Don't get your feathers ruffled over what I'm saying. Shoot, you can turn this off. I don't want you upset today anyway. That's bad energy. But if I'm saying anything that resonates with you, cool. If I'm not, flip this, turn it off and move on to something else. But uh, this word apocalypse, it ain't. What I'm trying to do here is, it's not as scary as you think. Because I'm gonna prove to you, we already in the apocalypse. We in it. We've been in it. So since they made things civil, called civilization, or caused the mind to try to interpret and try to come up to this level of being civil, that was done because the natural peoples of the Americas, all the Americas, Africa, Egypt, China, all the Asiatic folks everywhere, to certain people, so to a certain people group, was uncivilized. So they made a whole genre of lifestyle change that they by force put on people. See, you've been and I've been made civilized. Previous that, people was just here. You just do your thing. Now, if you dress a certain way with a little loincloth on and a little top and some feathers in your head, and you look just like me while you was dressed like that, you were called uncivilized, because they had to come up with a dynamic that once they started taking, they could lay over the top of things that were already there, their map for where they wanted things to go. This is a mapped out plan being executed, and it's already been executed. So for example, let's see, back in 1512, and I'm looking at some of my notes. Back in 1512, De Soto, Christopher Colombo, I say Colombo, Christopher Columbus, all them cats, 1512, you say 1492, they sailed the ocean blue. That's all BS. They didn't discover nothing. For themselves, they discovered lands that they had not seen, but they did not discover this place or that place. Okay. I don't even think Christopher Columbus even landed here. He landed in Puerto Rico somewhere. But other cats got over here, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go into all the, you know, this and that about that. I'm just giving you the outline. And I'm tying this in with the word apocalypse because this was already started long ago. The apocalypse has been ongoing. You haven't been in your original state ever. None of us have. I got these kind of clothes on. We ain't been in our original state ever. Okay. You happen to go find that because his story done told you it was this way, so you could shut up and walk straight and keep walking in that line like an ant. Don't say nothing, don't get out of order, be civil. Okay. So the apocalypse already been ongoing. You living in it right now. People say, oh, you're major, that's hogwash. I don't even know where that term came from, but I ain't trying to necessarily wash a hog. But I think you do have to wash a hog because they smell real bad if you don't. And if you raise hogs, you sell them and make money, so you'd have to hog wash them, I guess. Anyway, um, I know some people do that, so they do have to wash them. But the apocalypse has been ongoing. It is ongoing. It is the thing that you're living in right now. And that's from the book of Major, verse 1. No, it's chapter 1, verse 2. I'm sorry. I'm a little rusty. But we in the thing right now because the conquest has already occurred. De Soto, Christopher Columbus, who else? In 1493, Christopher Columbus. And these cats I'm talking about, these were pirates, y'all. Those are the pirates. See, you got the Pirates of the Caribbean, and then he's the hero now, of course. Johnny Depp or whatever. He's the hero, and then you got the British. The sun never sets on Great Britain over there because they always in everything. They've been in everything, and that's who the apocalypse is coming from. That's where it's all coming from. The people who've been conquesting this last part, this last 3, 4, 5, 600 years, this is where the apocalypse is coming from. They designed the language that me and you talking right now. They came up with these words. So see, somebody said the other day on a comment said it's a 2,000-year-old word. So that immediately made me go, that person was referencing the Bible been around for 2,000 years or so. That's systematic of programming where you can't get out the box. Because if you, here, I'm going to ask you, I'll say this. 2,000 years ago, was you there? Okay. You knew the word existed 2,000 years ago as we're speaking it today with these definitions? I highly doubt it. And if you can show me a reference on a stone, like go to the pyramids or something in Egypt and show me on them hieroglyphs where it say that, and somebody that could interpret that could tell me, yeah, that was right here, da 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 da. Because every civilization done had an apocalypse or been in apocalyptic times. It's nothing new. This ain't, they scaring everything out you. They trying to scare and steer. They scaring and steering. Y'all remember the movie, what was that movie called? It's a kids movie. It's called, the character's name, Mike Wazowski. It was something Incorporated, Monsters Incorporated. Okay, we scared because we care. They scaring the little kids, and when the kids scream, they collect the scream energy, and then they use it to power their world. Yo, that movie's deep. Yeah, that show you right there. If you go back and watch that movie through a different lens and not this entertainment lens, oh, that's cute for the kids to watch kind of thing. No, that movie got all kinds of messages in it. And if you dissect that stuff, even the color of the floor or the soccer ball, the black and white, those shapes on the soccer ball, I'm not going to say it on here, but that actually means a certain type of secret society. That's their call sign. That's their logo, so to speak. So anytime you see that on the floor, checkerboard looking black and white checkers on, that's a certain secret societies groups signal. They telling you what's really going on. But anyway, we wasn't really talking all about that. We was talking about how we already in the apocalypse. I just mentioned that quick flick because it's got a lot of stuff in there. And just think, we scared because we care. That's what they thinking. That's what they doing to you right now. You the little kids, they scaring. They make a movie that you think is good for your little kids to watch, but really the movie is about them over you. And then they program your children ahead of time, predictive programming, to get the outcomes they want in the future. It's already designated and dialed into what they want in the future. So they got to work on this stuff 50, 60 years ahead of time, 70. It's in stages. Like I said, apocalypse works in 4 stages. So we already seen the conquest. We done seen Christopher Columbus and them, De Soto. They called, all these islands, all these places. No matter wherever you go, where there was gold, now it's in ruins. Okay, that's how you can tell what has occurred. So Aztec, Inca, Indians. The reason why they oh, we can't figure out where the people went, what happened. They came up in there and took everything. They didn't keep that place. The City of Gold. Y'all did y'all ever see a movie called it's a kids movie also. It's called El Dorado. Uh, two white guys dancing around, having great life from Spain. They Spaniards and speaking English on the movie, of course, in search of gold, the city of lost city of El Dorado. And they go up in there. That's an actual real event, y'all. That's not even fake. It's in history that it happened. And how they depict it in his story is not actually how it happened, because his story gets written and documented and promoted and propagandized later by the one who wins. So you ain't gonna never get a full-fledged 100% story if it's already in his story, because you got to go back to the originating source who wrote his story. So who won the war is whose history you're following. Each civilization that takes over the next rewrites everything so that history looks back on them as, yo, the victor, or that's common sense. Like, if you think about this stuff, we're living in a system of who won, who took over. Now we done called it our own, and we done wrapped our arms around it. We love them leeks and garlic, don't we? We rather have them leeks and them garlics instead of getting to whatever promised land you supposed to get to. We rather keep with the systematic way because that's easier to do. It's what we know, and that's all we think about. But the time has come for that stuff to start lifting off. But anyway, I'm gonna keep moving a little bit because uh, I need to disclose some more stuff about this conquest thing, just to put it into perspective. Puerto Rico, what was it's another location. Um, oh, this is important right here. Yo, this is so important. Y'all gotta hear this, okay? In the conquest, okay, it's only really two goals in mind for the conquestors, the people who are taken over by force what they want to take over. The main two with the Spaniards, Great Britain, and who else? But those two groups specifically, those are the ones who got everything like it is now. This is still being governed the same way. It's just overlaid with other appointments so that you can't really see the real truth of the matter. Okay, so what it is the Spaniards' two main goals in their conquest. When you watch these movies, these pirate movies, you watch the British against the this and the redcoats against the blue, all that stuff, blah blah blah. The two goals were always on the conquest to steal the gold first, locate it, steal the gold, and then after you take the resources, you insert your religion into the society. Now, you kill off some folks just to make the example. You hurt some folks, maim some folks, you lock some people up and make everybody comply to this takeover. That's what they do. I mean, I don't even have to explain that to y'all. Y'all know, y'all can just watch some movies and see that happening. That's what happens. That's what's been happening. So those are the two goals. Take the gold and then install their religious system. Now, interestingly, the Spaniards, y'all can research this. Don't take nothing Major say. This wasn't this kind of talk. I'm just showing you the apocalyptic nature of what we already live in, because the takeover already occurred. But they got to keep me and you thinking that it's about to come. It's on the way. Be scared. We scared because we care. You know what I'm saying? So once you take over and you get the resources you want to take back to your homeland and rich yourself up and get all your prizes and possessions, streets named after you, towns named after you, become a governor, you become a knight, whatever it is, you become this, that, duchess, and all these different titles you get for taking everything back. Then It's the other crew's job, the missionaries, they have a mission to go insert the religion of that empire who takes over. So if you trace all of the takeovers of certain areas and who controls them or who was controlling them up to, 20 years ago or whatever the term is, you'll find out it's still originating from the Romans to the Spaniards to the Brits. That's the Spaniards are the ones who came up in America and went through the Americas looking for gold, finding it, taking over, killing folk, and then installing their kingdoms in those places. Because if you go to Florida, St. Augustine and all these different names, those are all names that the Spaniards gave. They had a portion of America that they own with, I think it was Spain, France, and another country. What was the other country? Maybe Great Britain or something. But the Louisiana Purchase. Okay, they sold it back to the United States, who then had became a corporation. So think about it. Another country sells part of the land they conquered from other people. They stole, they sold it for $20 million to United States of America Corporation. So it's all interesting stuff. You start looking at the contracts and things, you start to realize what you'll realize, we already in apocalyptic time. We have been. Because the people who took over, they showed their hand long ago. If you just do a little research and read a little history, right? They showed their hand. Okay. They already showed their hand. So you don't need me to tell you. You just got to go do your own due diligence. But, you got Columbus in 1493 says he founded the island of Isabellas, okay, on Hispaniola, which was the name. They found gold. Once they found gold over there, the island became overrun with Spanish to get the gold. I mean, they just come up in there, right? Then they went to Puerto Rico in 1508, did the same thing. They went to Jamaica in 1509, did the same thing. Then in Cuba in 1511, did the same thing. All the culture in these places ain't even the original culture. It's cross mixed with Spanish and whatever it was previous. You can go back and see all through the world, wherever. If you go to Spain and see all that stuff over in Spain right now, this is where they got the money to do all of that from all the conquests. They don't think that they ain't still running stuff just because you don't hear, oh, the Spaniards are here. Don't think they suit up with nice suits now, ties and stuff. They got their new look on. They got their cars. They got their jets. Them they horses now. Okay. They got, high rise buildings and stuff like that. This is how they disguise themselves now. I mean, we in disguise with this garb we wear right now. We in disguise. We don't know who he is. So this is why I say we already in apocalypse. Y'all ain't got to wait for something. They said what, September 24th. I was hearing that all day yesterday. Then I went and looked at some videos, whole slew of videos, September 24th. You're going to remember where you are in history. Then I read a little further into it. Some German chancellor cat supposedly misspoke and said September 24th when he meant, I think, February 24th, talking about Ukraine or something like that, right? So then all of a sudden, people started going crazy with this, the end of the times, the end times is going to happen September 20th. Anytime somebody starts saying a date, that's good cause for you just to ignore it. Because if you know when it's going to happen, you got to be some kind of seer from the past who can see through people's thoughts and everything. And you tell what I'm thinking right now because you own something. But if all these people saying and doing the same thing, it just got a buzz going. And I mean, look, we here right now, we here on this live, and I guess the planet is still here. Power's still on. I guess I could be wrong. The signal's still working on the live. I guess I could be wrong about that too. That's just my, I guess it's a theory I have that everything looks like it's still kind of doing what it was doing yesterday, as far as I'm concerned. So you can't trust this stuff. You have to trust you first. Yeah, I mean, don't go overlay. See, they taught us exactly how they took over other realms. They took over other civilizations. I can't even use that word. They took over a lot of landscape on the planet by doing exactly what they did, talking about that video September 24th thing. They overlay something on top of something. And then if you tell that long enough, people will start believing it. People start chattering, it goes viral. That's what they've done with history. That's what they're having us do one to another. That's what you overlaying your belief that was generated from their conquest. You start overlaying it on you and then other people. And then you keep doing that long enough, you believe it. I mean, belief is, you need to go look up the definition for the word belief. It's just like hope. It's just like the word hope. It was created from a religious context, not an actual thing context. So like I always say, knowing something. So why would the book of Proverbs in the Bible, let's say Proverbs 4:7, why would it talk about knowing or getting knowledge? That's to know what's going on. Knowledge is from the word know or gnosis. So knowledge is something that you actually get from, say, research, study, application. Oh, that worked. I hooked the red wire and the black wire to the right post, and then the battery sent the power through and the light came on. I know that happened because I did it. Or my theory is, what I believe is, you see the difference? What I believe is, we can believe all of us are different. We gonna see, you gonna read a book, I'm gonna read the same book. I'm gonna see something totally different than what you see, unless a teacher tells both of us what's going on and we don't get to speak. We just have to hear and then record everything. A teacher or preacher or a priest or whatever, if they teach you from their viewpoint what the book says, then if you think they're the authority on things, then you take that knowledge and you use it just like they spit it out to you. But now if you read the book and I read the book and somebody else reads the book and then you say, what you think about that sentence? I'm gonna say something different, you're gonna say something different, they gonna say something different, because all of our lives are on different paths. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because you're supposed to be on your path, you're supposed to be on your journey, right? If you don't know you're on your journey, it's easy for you to get sabotaged, because that's what happened to me for 20, 30 years. Sabotaged for a long time off my journey. I'm on my journey now. So, it's all about knowing, not just believing something. So anyway, apocalypse. I read, yep, I can read. Even though I flunked kindergarten, I still learn how to read. But to control, I'm going back to the Spaniards because that's a deep conversation and how they did this thing we're in right now, this apocalyptic lifestyle we live. We done got comfortable with it because we so far removed from what was previous, because like I said, air conditioning feel good. Turning on hot water without going to start a fire, cut some wood and start a fire and boil some water for 30, 40 minutes before it get warm so I can take a bath. Just go turn on that shower, feel good. It's easy. Go to the grocery store, get a package of some food. Wait a minute. Didn't they used to have to go hunt for that all day to get that package of food? So they got us, man. They really, I said us. I didn't say you. We all up in this apocalyptic lifestyle. That's what it is. I don't care. You can look at it how you want to look at it. That's how I see it. That's it. We are in a apocalyptic living conditions right now. So to keep you in check with that, they got to go one step further. You know what I'm saying? You got to go over what you, when your mind can't comprehend how bad something could get, that's when they get you. But the reason you need to know this stuff is so they can't get you stretched out that far. Well, if you just, I'm already living in an apocalypse. What you talking about? Ain't something I believe. I see it on the street every day. Since I've been born, I've been apocalyptic adventure, so to speak. How is that? Well, everything is systematic. So you're already in uh, apocalyptic times. If everything is controlled by a system that you didn't have any input on, you're living in apocalyptic times. You, if a law says you have to do this way, you can't do it that way, or you're gonna pay dearly, take your freedom away or something. That's apocalyptic times. So you know, I could go across the board naming off a whole bunch of stuff, but I wanted to read some of this stuff. Um, for control, when they took over a country, you were forced to convert. The Spaniards made you, they forced you. So that's why a lot of people that are aboriginal to some lands speak Spanish. They don't speak their language no more. They speak Spanish. You go Portugal, you go to all through South America. That's how much turf they conquered. They conquered all that and they left their language and their religion there. They do some big ceremony like Guatemala. They do huge ceremonies, man. All the buildings in most of them cities, the big cities in Guatemala, all Spanish design buildings. Their heritage, their cultures are crossed. They're mixed now. Like you can't unmix it. The Catholicism is the main religion. That's Christianity. Same thing. Just got different clothes on when you do it this way. That's all it is. Same book, using the same book. But they got Catholicism is the main religion. The food style is mixed with the Aboriginal people / Spanish. That's where the cuisine comes from to this day. And they love it. They in apocalypse and they love it. They like them leeks and them garlics. You tell a lie long enough, it becomes a truth. So that's what happens. And they know that. That's human nature. They already studied that. They already know. So the control over nations when they go in and do the conquest is by force. Ain't nothing asking you, yo, would you like to join us? Would you like to change the way that you reference creation? Or would you like to now wear clothes? We want you to wear suits and shoes. We don't want you barefoot anymore. Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay, we'll just chop your feet off. Dang, okay. Or chop your hands off to make an example. By force, this was done. So apocalypse is by force. So we're already in it. Let's see. After the decline of the Roman Empire, Hispania, the Romans, so that was called the Roman Empire, but Hispania, Hispania, that's from Rome, Italy. So Romans from Italy, Rome, Italy, the Romans, you get it? Okay, that's where that's coming from. Great Britain. So the Roman, the Italy thing, the Italians, they end up going into what you call Britain. So you go from Spaniards being originated from the decline of the Roman Empire. That's where they originated from. So to me, without a little investigation or not too much due diligence, it looks to me, this is my opinion though, don't hold me to this, but it looks to me like the Spaniards came when the Romans Empire declined. Empires fall all the time. Then the empire strikes back. Empires fall all the time. So when the Romans lost their empire, they turned into the Spaniards. See, when your empire go out, you're an enemy of the world now. You're an enemy of the state because you was out there, chopping folks up with swords and stuff and doing all kind of crazy stuff on your conquest. And then when your empire falls, you got to go in hiding. So the best way to go hide yourself is to call yourself something totally different. Oh, let's call ourselves the Spaniards. Okay, Spanito, El Spanito, whatever they call themselves. I don't know. But it's based on some reading I did. The Spaniards originated out of the Romans, so that's the old Roman Empire. This is how they have the knowledge on how to go conquest and go take over, whole populations of people, millions of people. They know how. They got a book on it. Trust, they got a book on it. While you reading your book, they reading that book and doing it. Okay, they give you another book to offset you from their book, so they can keep doing what they do with their book. So they go hide themselves in another name, become another culture, and then they rebuild and regrow, regenerate everything till they can get up the strength to take over something else again. So now the Spanish Romans come to another part of the world, and they eventually call themselves Britons. Jeez, this is who's in charge right now. The Queen just passed. That's that old empire stuff. So the old Roman Empire, if you want to look up some stuff, that came from some people called the Etruscans. Those are the Greeks. So see, you got how funny on the money you use right now. You got Greek stuff on there. You got Latin. You got no Spanish on the dollar, but you got all of that Greek symbolism and a whole bunch of stuff already pronounced to you to show you where this is all generated from. So there again, after the conquest, then they get you to assimilate. After they, hurt some folks and do a lot of damage, they scare people to death. Then they make you assimilate into their culture. They start overlaying their culture on top of yours. Does that sound familiar? Okay. Then absorption, they want you absorb it. It takes some years to do all this stuff before they can really fully get folk weeded out and get it, people going along with the program, so they know who's who, they know what's sound, and then they can roll off and do another one. But then they integrate all of this stuff into the people, their ideals, their culture, and then they develop a wider society based off of this integration. So they brought the apocalypse to these groups. These people was already dealing with their own issues before they was taken over. They was fighting wars with other tribes and so on and so forth, but it was still controllable. It was still, you got a disagreement, that's how you go settle it. But now these other cats, what they did on bringing the apocalypse into view, closer into view, on these other places that wasn't necessarily in apocalyptic times, they would go in to those nations and befriend them, get a whole bunch of tribes on their side, then cause some type of disruption, blame it on the other one, so the other one go into war, but that was really them not having enough people to really take over this place. This is how they pulled it off. This is how they caused the apocalypse to be what it is today. So that's what apocalypse is. Then it's, the 4 stages. One was conquest. The other one was war. So all these wars been going on for a long time, just constant. So that's the 2nd stage. And then famine, that's the 3rd stage. And then death is the 4th. So this is all I'm trying to tell y'all is, don't be scared. Just be prepared. Be prepared up here. They're going to keep doing what they're going to do. It's been going on so long. You can't stop that. They can't even stop it. They can't stop it. Man going to keep doing what he do. So you got to really realize what you need to be doing is what you need to be doing. Whatever that is, you got to go do that. Don't let this, September 24th, the world's coming to an end. Man, you know how many times people, and if it do, it do. The one of the end phases of the apocalypse is death. What you scared of? You got to do that anyway. That's a part of the process. This body, like I said, just the vehicle, because that's the silver lining in the whole thing, is that This is just a vehicle suit to transport your real you around. Stop being so afraid of not having this. I know it's a unchartered thing, but you're gonna have to start chartering some flights there. You have to start digging into that, going into self to find out really who you are. How do you do that? First is from knowing where you come from. Then you can get some bearing on, oh, dad, that's what's going on. Then you can start, your mind can start opening. So that's really what everybody got to do for themselves. It don't matter what color you are, it don't matter where you from. It matters you need to go take care of yourself. You can't help nobody else. It's see, I can use that Bible like I can use it like a sword too. Like, I might not be able to quote anymore the verse and chapter and all that stuff, but you can't help somebody else get the board out of their eye when you got a speck of wood in your own. So it tells you that in there. Somebody who's up in that book, you probably know what I'm talking about exactly. You probably go find it, put it on the screen. I can't remember the verse and stuff, but go put it up here. But you gotta you gotta really take care of yourself first and get yourself right before you can go get anybody else right. So there again, that's what religions are good for. They good for keeping the conquest going. You gotta wise up. And I'm not afraid to say it. They good for keeping the conquest going because once you backtrack who inserted it into that environment, and then you find out they the colonizer, they the conquester. Look, y'all, everybody, they was grabbing everybody for slaves. You it's so many. Look, y'all, you gotta wake up on that too. You're dealing with a whole system where even you got caught slipping in the wrong area and you was a Spaniard. Somebody's gonna grab you. You didn't have your crew with you, they'll grab you too. You think, oh, just because you're a Spaniard, you can't become a slave. Nah, you get caught slipping, they gonna get you. So there's been a long history. There's been a long apocalyptic journey of people taking people and using them for their benefit. And I mean, having them build whole civilizations. And guess what? All the gold you took, you ain't got to pay them. You just make them do it. Or a lot of it was indentured servitude. They was doing contracts with people too. They used some of the slave imagery though to make certain people groups over here get angry, keep the division going, because you find out that the movie Roots wasn't Alex, that dude that wasn't even a real story. They made that stuff up. All the imagery to go with it, they made that up. I'm not saying that none of that was going on or wasn't going on. I'm just saying in the context of the book Roots and the movie Roots, Kunta Kinte and all that stuff, that was made up. That wasn't a real story. They already proved it. He got sued over, I forget if it was, he got sued over it wasn't his story, or he got sued over the fact that I think it was something he plagiarized or something and added some stuff in. But anyway, it doesn't mean that it wasn't going on in certain places, and it doesn't mean that it was. I think to put that into perspective, because that's a part of apocalyptic. Think about if that was real. That's very apocalyptic, right? For those folks. Think about any war that they have in his story, genocide stuff, and the people getting killed, murdered everywhere, right? Isn't that apocalyptic? See, I'm here to open your mind so that you can stop fretting a lot of this stuff. I'm here to assist with half of this, more than half of this stuff is fake. But if you believe a lot long enough, it becomes your truth. So I'm here to help just wake up minds. That's it. That's my journey. Y'all get to watch some of it with me talking, and then, whatever you see visually that my vehicle, my soul suit is letting you see, But for real, uh, it's about some deeper things they don't, they don't want you to get to. Heck, it's about some deeper things that yourself don't even want you to get to. You ain't even got to bring they, them, whoever these people are into the fray of things. All you got to do is your subconscious already doing the dirty work. It's been programmed to make sure that you stay in place, that the spell never comes off. Remember, I was telling y'all these words in English, man, it's so crazy. Like I'm gonna say this. I think if I'm gonna say if somebody in here speak French, put it on the screen. But I think when you say the word God in French, they use mon Dieu. They say bonjour mon Dieu. So mon Dieu to someone who only speaks English doesn't have any effect on their mind, because if you didn't know that, it doesn't mean anything to you. But you could be so crazily emphatic on God over here and miss the whole message over there because you don't know the language. It don't even sound the same. So I'm just telling you, wake up. This stuff that they show us every day is further complicating things because it's piling on top of what's already there. Can you imagine compacted data, 1 billion terabytes of data, and then they compact it like this, and then they put another billion on top, and they keep like this. So the computer's trying to go through all this data like this, and it can't get through all of the data. No matter how heavy you build the computer, it cannot process all the information. You have a hard drive situation where it probably shut down. That's what's happening with all of this information floating around, trying to get minds to shut down, because that's where it's at. That's where the play. Look, on the colonization side, that's where the play is at. They wasn't taking people out when they took over a nation and then killing folk in front of other folk just to kill them. They're like, dang, we could have used them people for workers, but we got to make the example somewhere, so chop them off. They have to do that because they got to get your mind. Once they get your mind, once they get your mind, they got you. They got your being. They got your what you call the soul. They got you. So we got to make sure. I hope my feed is still going, y'all. Y'all can say something on here. Make sure we still moving, because I see something lapsing here. I hope it's still carrying on. Uh, Let me see. Let me say something because I see my screen. Okay. Blue. Okay. Thank you, C. Marie. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Cool. So, but anyway, that's what's overall. That's like an overlay on top of the overlay we already overlaid with. Um, we've been overlaid with false narratives, false doctrines, false everything. That's why I keep saying, find your truth, whatever that is. And then when you get that truth, you ain't got to go put it on nobody. You ain't got to go make them. See, they make you with certain religious texts even do their job by trying to force people to accept it. Because if you don't, there's a scary part that's going to happen. What does that sound like? Don't that sound just like, well, you're going to go to a certain place if you don't accept this? Dag, but I didn't know that information for the last 50,000 years until y'all came over here and took over some stuff and then slapped that on me. I didn't know that. We were living how we was living fine before that happened, before the fall came. So it's a lot into this, y'all. But hopefully this kind of get us thinking. Oh, here's some information too. The people who came and took America from the Aboriginal people that was here look like me, or darker and lighter and all kind of colors. Okay, Britain, France, Spain, and the Netherlands. They all came together. They sat down. Yo, you know what? we've been getting good information from our little spies over there with them tribes and stuff, and they finding all kind of trinkets. California, you got stuff over there in Colorado, you got stuff over, you got all. Hey, let's form this group and let's go get this. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar like certain groups that are in existence right now? This set of groups against that group or those groups. It's the same playbook. This is the same thing being done over and over and over again. But unfortunately for us, we've been duped. Our parents was duped and their parents was duped and so on and so forth into the new systems. That's how they keep you hopping, dancing to their drum beat, because change the system up. Hey, they catching on, change the system, add some more stuff in, make it more complex, even make the tax, the rules and regulations. You got to have an attorney just to do it, or else that's how you keep you jumping. Paper genocide. They come mail, keep junk mail, this mail, that mail, keep you hopping, keep you jumping. All these spam, all these phone calls from all these companies. I think they got companies out there set up just to call people, so you got something to be angry about. So you got something to be mad about. Oh, they keep bothering me, and they keep breaking. They keep you in the spell by breaking any inbound, way out. They keep punching you back in to your old self. These movies punching you into your old subconscious thoughts. That's what it's all there for, is to keep you in your previous programming. They don't care if you finally get it and you 98 years old. That's the point. It's like, make it stretch out that long where you really can't physically do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a physical thing that you need to be trying to do about it anyway. It's always going to be that mental, spiritual thing that's really what's going on. So I really think we got to wake up. But yeah, you could go through and check some of this stuff out. Go look up. So what they do, you can look up Hernan Cortez, 1519, and what's his name? Bernal Diaz del Castillo. Those were two of the cats who went in there. I can't even pronounce this name, but this was the emperor's name of the Aboriginal emperor was Emperor Montezuma. Y'all may have heard of that. Tenochtitlan or Tenochtitlan. I can't pronounce the name of that tribe. That was down in South America, Central America. That was the Aztec Inca Empire thing over that way. But in 1519, them two cats got together, two Spaniards, and said, we're going to go take this. And that's what they did. So now when you look on different shows on TV and stuff, they'll have like episodes about the Aztec Incas. Where did they go? The ruins are still here. We're still studying, trying to figure this out. Why are there no people here? Because of them two Spaniards. That's why there's no people there. They had to run up out of there. Those that wasn't killed, they had to get out of there or they was going to be killed too, because they was only interested in the gold. So then you got the History Channel and this and that channel. You got you got all of these institutions that keep regurgitating the stories over and over and over again, because if you tell a lie long enough, it becomes they're all put there. This looks so big to us. All these organizations, the Smithsonian, the this, the that, their only job is to keep you bombarded with all the wrong information or part information, truth, leading and overlaid with the conqueror's information to blend it in to make it what it is now, the apocalypse. So yeah, we in here, we been in here. Your parents was in the apocalypse too. You know, it's been going on for a while. This ain't nothing new. So that's what I'm saying. It's time, chill out on all this panic stuff. Cause like I said, life too short, and you gonna get out of here. Something gonna happen to me, you, and everybody you know anyway. Y'all already know. You're like, well, I don't want it to happen too soon. What difference do it make? Because after you go, it just is what it is. You better be more concerned with what you doing while you here. and what you telegraphing for later, where you gonna be. That's what's most important. That's all that matters. All the rest of this stuff. See, if 50% of America was like, nah, you'd be like brother man on the Martin Lawrence show. Nah, man, I ain't sweating this. I'm gonna go make me a sandwich. Tripping off of y'all. I'm only concerned about that sandwich. If 50% of people did that, almost all of this stuff would start disintegrating. All of this apocalyptic stuff. They would go in panic mode. But if you didn't care, it wouldn't even matter, would it? So it's so much stuff I could talk about. I'm gonna say some of this for another live because we out there. Um, but I think the whole moral of the story here today is, like I've been saying, find you, do you. Like, write your own narrative, do your own narrative, be your own narrative, or become your own narrative. Do them three things. If I could recommend something to you. What you mean, Major? Right? What you talking about? Write your own narrative. Well, what is it that you want to do? What is it you aspire to do while you're here? What is it you want to go see? Adventure. What is it you trying to leave here as a footprint for other people to follow? Whatever it is, write it down. It could be one, two, three. It could be that simple. Write it down on a piece of paper. Oh, I want to do this. I want to live like this. I want to do like this. Maybe you so wealthy, money's not the thing. You want to be find a way to get that off of you and just go backpacking across the America on foot. See, people do some reverse opposite stuff like that too. Half of these people on the streets you see, some of them cats and female, they got crazy money. They've chosen to experience how to not have it. You can get to the point where you got so much of it that it's going to be bothersome. Too much of anything is a problem. So don't think that everybody you see on the street is what you think everybody is on the street. You don't know who you dealing with unless you know them. So the visual don't depict the actual. That's just a representation for your mind to see what's going on right that moment, but it don't determine the depth of who that person really is. So you got to be aware of this stuff. So as you move, and you got to learn how to move through this thing. Like your experience, how does that work? Is your experience supposed to be working a 9 to 5 forever? And then one day you retire and you get your pension or whatever. If you've already done that, much respect. But now you're on your other experience now. Now you can do some things. But if you're younger and you just do that and you think that's the way, well, that's your way. But what if you could have another way? Because everybody aspires to do something great. Do we ever do it? Not very often. Can it be done? Oh, yeah. But you got to go into yourself. First, you got to, can't be scared because they'll jump your subconscious back into where they want it. That's why I'm talking about the apocalypse, because you got to know you already been in it. You already in the last days. You've been in the last days as soon as you got here. So don't let these words and these sentences scare you, is what I'm saying. We all been in the last days. For every group of people that born and then die, you had your time, you had your last days already. Rome, countries in Africa that got taken over, renamed. That was their apocalypse. That was they had their Armageddon. When the world, came, their world came crashing down. So you can't say that, it ain't got here yet. And for other people groups, it done already happened. And they still in it. They still broke. They still had all their resources taken. They still can't even, they just scrapping for survival now. So don't tell me we don't already live in those times. Hey, the perfect bluff is to make you believe that it's coming, so you can be fearful and not move a certain way. That's the perfect deceptive piece for controlling large groups of people, keep scaring the tar out of them. So I think I think that we just need to rethink some things for ourselves. Don't take mine. You can use whatever you want from mine, what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is, don't just only look at what I'm saying. See if it's applicable. See if we can, see if there's a way that you can apply some of what I'm talking about if it's useful. If it's not, throw it out. It's no problem. It's no big deal for me at all. Uh, if I help one person, I'm good with that. I'm groovy with that. Like I said, I think we got like 44 people watching. I'm good with them 44. It's dope. I'm cool. It doesn't bother me one bit because it only takes one mind to help thousands of minds. So I'm not even worried about that. I think that's a great thing. Um, I hope that y'all wasn't up too early. I see y'all on here right now. Y'all group, y'all was gonna be up whether Major was doing a live or not, cause all the rest of the 1,000 people that should be watching this still sleep, wasting their minutes, wasting their time in this life. So, and I think the older you get, the earlier you start getting up because now it really starts setting in that I'm already over halftime and it's not much left, is it? Nope. So you gotta start making do with what you got. You gotta start getting it in. Live your experience. Like I said, if you want to travel out of the country, go get. If you ain't got no passport, get that right now before they stop that. Get you a passport. Get you a ticket. Just go drop in somewhere. Just go do it. You ain't gotta do a bunch of planning. Just go do it. If you can't do that, work on doing that. But get that did because once you get out of this atmosphere over here, you'll see real quick the energy change. As soon as you hit the airport, you're gonna be like electric. The real electricity is supposed to be flowing through your body right now. It's hard for it to get through with all this junk over here. It's saturated with negativity. You hit another country and you'll be like, woo, it works for everybody. Just like when Hispanic people come over here, they end up being millionaires. It's a whole paradigm shift. They get it. They like, I ain't stuck nowhere. I'm getting this money. I'm getting this $15 an hour, and in a couple of 7 years, I'm gonna have 200,000 saved up. Boom! I'm going back to Mexico, buy me a palace, give me some people working for me, got horses and gardens and all kind. Yo, that's how they do it. If you do that in another country, the same thing will happen to you over there, because it's such a paradigm shift. It'll be like icing on the cake over there for you. It'll be so easy, while the other people that live there struggling to make it, working a 9 to 5, just like you doing over here. So that's why you got to experience some of this stuff. But look, I think I've talked long enough. I hope I made the point. I had a whole bunch of other stuff written down, but the overall theme is what I expressed already. And wishing all y'all the bestesses. Um, I'm wishing all of y'all the best. I'm wishing all of y'all, that the desires that you have, as long as they're realistic to the environment you in, come to pass, and that we stop being scared and fearful of every little thing. Now, protect yourself at all times. You ain't got to be paranoid about it, like I always say. But yeah, you gotta watch your six here and there. I mean, you can't just, if your body, your vehicle is important for your journey, then you gotta watch your six here and there, because the conquistadors are still out there, everywhere. They all over the place. So that's why you gotta watch your six. But it's more importantly to watch your 12 in front, because trying to move this way, okay, the only time I need to back up is if I need to duck, move out of the way or something, but then I'm going this way again. So we got to realize that's what we got to do too. But look, I'm going to get out of here. I've been on here long enough. I'm going to I got to see, you can't even play with this YouTube studio unless you go live. I guess I could do a non-public live and play with it more so I can get it down, because like the background picture, I try to put one up that's kind of like apocalyptic looking to people. You know what I'm saying? That's what they think the apocalypse is going to look like. I don't want to be in that. You see all that junk I got on? I ain't trying to do all that. I just used to train with that stuff. That was part of my business. And but I ain't trying, that stuff's heavy. You walk around with that stuff on all day, you gonna be hurting. It is not fun. I ain't trying to do none of that. I just threw up a took some pictures and threw them up just so I could do this live because I knew people vibe on these pictures. Oh man, what's this gonna be about? So I threw that up there. That's all. But you know, my messages ain't gonna never be about that's what you need to go do. I mean, it's fun like for recreation, you know, targets and stuff like that. It's fun, but go play dress up anytime. You know what I'm saying? It's not something I want to live by though. But keep your skill sets up. Keep doing for yourself. Keep you know going after what it is you want to experience here until you get it. Go on and live that life. I'm gonna answer some questions real quick, if there's any. Uh, let's see. Louis on here. Braxton Spivey. Haven't went to sleep. Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, get you some rest. Um, Tamika Wells, appreciate you tuning in. Uh, Success is in you. Seville Belgrade, success is in you. Call for the Most High. That's what's up. Hit the like button. If y'all new, hit the subscribe button. Started streaming 75 minutes ago. Y'all, I got to go. Doopsy Daisy, that's what's up. Hey, I appreciate all y'all. My screen ain't doing what it need to be doing. C. Marie and Miss E on the moderator, I think. I thought I saw her on here. Maybe she had to take off. But I appreciate all of y'all. Tracy Marie Wade, Kaz Realist, Metri. Who else on here? I'm just doing my shout outs real quick because I appreciate y'all. Yo, if you ain't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, hit the like thing. Put some comments in here. Hopefully this time on my stream, all y'all's messages will be streaming when the video stops or whatever. But yo, I'm gonna get out of here. Get after this. I'm on my thing. I'm on my ones and twos. Y'all, that's old talk for my turntables. You know, I'll be cutting and scratching and stuff. So I'm about to get on my ones and twos. Get this exercise game on real quick. Go do my little jog. Go take the fam somewhere, have some fun. Go get out, see some trees, the wilderness back here. You know, go breathe some air. So y'all, go enjoy yourself. Don't be worried about this apocalyptic stuff. Do your due diligence. But so you can keep doing your journey though, I'm gonna say this real quick. Go ahead, look into changing some of that paper into some gold or some silver. I ain't saying do it, but look into it just so that when, because it's gonna look, we're in the apocalypse time. We've been in it, like I said. Don't be afraid about that. But while you got this journey to carry out for yourself, right? Make sure that how you move around is secure. And you can't secure everything, but you do have opportunities like myself to the same thing the Spanish was after. Okay? You had an opportunity to change some of your paper into what they was, you know, what they've taken over everything over here to get must be very important to some people. If that's the means of transportation, then make sure you have some. That's all. Some silver. Make sure you got a little bit. Make sure you can keep maneuvering because the whole point is to get this journey done. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Just left you with that. Get some resources. Don't keep everything in the bank. Get some stuff out so you can keep it moving. Keep some low denomination bills in the house. If systems go down somewhere, which they've been doing anyway, you ain't going to want to get nobody a 50 or a C note for something that costs $20 and they ain't got no change to give you, but you really need that thing. So just think, critical thinking. That's all it is. When you in a system, you kind of got to do some of the systematic stuff to keep moving. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That old saying, kind of true. Okay, so lie long enough, it's the truth. That's how they got the system around us in the first place. So go ahead and maneuver. You got to move like that to be able to make it through this stuff. So you can get your mission done and get your experience out of this thing. But anyway, this is Major signing off for another kind of cool video. I hope. Peace, y'all.